Oh, I'm back in Changi Airport for the third time within the past 1.5 months. This time flying back to Japan again, flying to Osaka, Kansai, and we'll be heading up to Tokyo. So this video would be the start of a new series on my trip to Japan and Korea, and I'll be covering my a flight review on Scoot, taking Scoot's medium haul flight from here to Osaka, which will cover and take around 5 hours. So this is Terminal 1. All Scoot flights all operate from Terminal 1. Check-in was a breeze. I checked in online, dropped off my bags, got through immigration, and now I'm here having some breakfast as I didn't order any food on the plane. I'll talk more about food and everything on Scoot as I walk towards the gate later on. Alright, so the gate opens in 2 minutes and I'm heading to the gate now after having breakfast. So Scoot doesn't, you have to add on a breakfast. I mean, after all, it's a budget airline, so you have to pay for all of the add-ons. I added on extra for seat reservation, also for just a little bit of in-flight Wi-Fi, so I'll be testing that out later on the flight. So for this fare to Osaka, I mean, today is the 8th of January, so it's past the school holiday season, so it's not as expensive as it would normally be if you were to book it in December. It's around $300 plus per person, so it's definitely quite affordable and cheap for a flight to Japan, you know, and Osaka of all places, the major city. Alright, so we're ready. The boarding gate, so I'll head through and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, we got in. Here's our 787-8. Right now we're boarding. The boarding started at 6:10. So they boarded this 10 minutes late, but it's fine as long as we depart on time and we arrive right on time as well. Oh, it's very spacious. Alright, I've settled into my seat and so far very good. First impressions over here, very spacious. Okay, I did pay an extra $19 for this, so I'm about 1.77 meters, and yeah, the legroom is definitely, I paid extra $19, which I think is good for this amount of legroom. And it even stretched my leg all the way in, and it's very comfortable. The cabin is very spacious, as you can see. Walking in, there's a lot of space, and this is a 343 configuration. I bought a 787-9, it wasn't a -8 as I initially presumed. So of course you have the typical 787 function where you can just dim. Well, I think it's set by that. Yeah, you can just manually dim it. I've taken so many 787s, always in Japan for some reason, on ANA and also on Singapore Airlines. Those two flight reviews are in the description box down below. So yeah, why I took Scoot on this leg was because Scoot was one of those that offered a direct flight to Osaka, Kansai. As for the past 3 trips to Japan, I've always been flying to Tokyo all the time. So this time I'll be exploring a different part of Japan. Alright, so other than that legroom over here, right, you can just see that you have a crew call button and your reading light over here. Yeah, and then yeah, so far it's pretty spacious. Nothing to complain about, and you have an adjustable headrest like on a full service carrier. Yes, and I also have Wi-Fi, or you can enable your in-flight fix on Scoot Hub, as you can see over here. So they're trying to match up to a full service carrier. If you brought on your iPad or tablet, for instance, you can actually utilize the service and access streaming, I believe. So we'll test it out later after takeoff. And you have your in-flight menu. I didn't order any food on board because I already had breakfast, but I'll probably look at it later on and see what I can get. Probably a drink or something. Yeah, I should have done this, not gonna lie. Yeah, so far so good. Really surpassed my expectations, to be very honest. If we look at the prices here, I'll say the prices are relatively fair. $15, $12 to get a whole meal with a drink right there. Yeah, it's fair. And this, considering that this flight is about 5.5 hours, definitely just alright. We're pushing back right now, so we're on schedule now at 6:53. So everything's all on time, it's all good.
I'd like to welcome you on our flight, Scoot TR818, Singapore Changi bound for Osaka, Kansai. flight number.
This month's January, I'll be there in April. Yeah, so this will be the last full series I'll be filming before I enlist in the army. So trying to make the most out of it. I'm trying to connect to the Wi-Fi over here and it seems like disconnected like that. I don't know if they do register the device, but they gave me a code but I didn't use it at all. So I just ended up connecting to it, just like that. Okay, so I realized that the Wi-Fi didn't work. I had to go to the browser and enter this website in. So afterwards I can select for in-seat power or to get more legroom as well. So I just click get Wi-Fi and I'm going to input the code that they gave me, and afterwards let's see if it works. Alright, so they also let you know how long you have left on the flight to use it, and also how much you have left. So I better use it sparingly. I can pause as well, or I can continue. Yeah, so the Wi-Fi seems to work pretty well, and I'll just settle in for our flight and get back to you once they have the meal service. Alright, it's been 2.5 hours of the takeoff and they came around their meal service, and I ordered a coffee for $4, which I think is fine. It's just like hazelnut coffee. It comes like this. They team up with a brand called Hugs Coffee, which we do see in Singapore quite often nowadays. Yeah, just $4, pretty simple. Pay by card or even cash that you accept. And yeah, just taking it easy and relaxing over here. It's been a very pleasant flight, nothing wrong so far. Just that 80 megabytes doesn't last too long, so I'm already halfway through my Wi-Fi and I can't really use too much. So I'm just like rationing it for the rest of the flight. Let me just give you a very brief tour of the toilet. Alright, so I'm in the toilet here. Let me just show you, it's very spacious. I can actually stretch my hand out all the way. So it's all pretty high, not too bad. Yeah, for a budget, they're definitely pretty impressive. Yeah, so everything's been pretty pleasant so far. The flight's been going well. Nothing unpleasant so far, yeah. So they named the cabin lights once more, as we're about 1.5 hours away from landing. So let me just show you right there. It's actually something called Scoot Hub, which is like a portal, like so. So you can actually see where the aircraft's flying without using any flight radar 24. So it functions like a full service carrier. You can access movies, games and whatnot all through your phone screen over here. 1 hour 6 minutes from landing. So I think overall this flight has exceeded my expectations, and those are what I would expect from Scoot. I mean, they do have some pretty strict rules, like not allowing outside food onto the aircraft or even beverages, if I'm not wrong. But other than that, I think their beverages here are still reasonably priced. The Wi-Fi and everything is good as well, it's pretty strong. There are no network issues for the time being, and everything's been pretty pleasant so far, so I'm pretty satisfied.
Cabin crew, please prepare for arrival. Thank you.
Alright, so as the flight comes to an end, let me just conclude this video with this little voiceover over here. So about 1 hour from landing, they had those the mood lighting turned on for the flight. So anyway, I'll say my entire experience on Scoot has been a really pleasant one, and I'll say to some extent an enjoyable one, as it definitely exceeded my expectations for a low-cost airline. On such a short flight that's just barely over 5 hours, I don't think I would need the entertainment system if there's already Wi-Fi on board. And also, for that short duration, you can just eat beforehand and arrive just in time for your next meal. In this case, breakfast at Changi Airport and then lunch when I arrived in Osaka. So the timing was really good for sure. And of course, you can recline your seat, and the seats are all really comfortable. If you can, just pay an additional $19 more to reserve your seat with extra legroom, as I did, which was definitely really worth it in the end. The cabin crew were also really attentive as a full service carrier, or some full service carriers for sure. And if you are a KrisFlyer member, flying on Scoot is definitely going to be very beneficial for you, as you can also earn more miles. And from time to time, Singapore Airlines does have discounts on Scoot, like 20% off after you hit 20,000 miles, or a bonus 1,000 miles that will be credited to your account upon the completion of a Scoot flight that has been booked under your name. So as a whole, I would definitely take Scoot again for these medium haul flights. Maybe in future, even on their long haul flights to Austria that they will be introducing in June 2025. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video on my experience on Scoot, and do enjoy the landing into Kansai Airport, and do also stay tuned for part 2 of this series. So I shall see you then.